I have tried to start this video so many times, and I don't know what to say. Hello, my name is Lindy, and I'm an alcoholic. I have like barely talked about this online, really, even on my blog. I have not taken you guys on this journey with me, and I wanted to give you an update. So I feel like a lot of people, when they quit drinking because something happened, right? They crashed their car, they beat somebody up, they went to the hospital, they got a terrible diagnosis. None of those things happened. I just came to the realization that I have to be sober for the rest of my life. I would say that the key insight that has helped me decide this is the realization that I am not able to moderate my drinking. And I mean, I have flat out discussed my addiction on this channel before. And like I've always known that I have substance abuse issues. But and I have always had substance abuse issues. Like, I was one of these cases where I didn't start drinking or doing drugs really early in my life. Like, I did not drink at all, not even once, until I was 17. And then it was like one time. And then a year later, when I was 18, I started smoking pot. And then from there, when I went to college and I started smoking pot and drinking, like actually drinking, within 2 years, I was smoking crack. I was one of those horror stories. I don't smoke crack anymore. I haven't for a really long time. It's true, but I'm just using that as an example. I didn't smoke for very long, just like one summer in the Bush administration. Okay, anyway. So yeah, but I've always been a really heavy drinker. I smoked weed every day for like 12 years. And yeah, just I've had friends and family confront me about it so many times I don't even remember. I have quit drinking approximately 1 million times. And yeah, as it stands, this 2 months is the longest period of sobriety in my entire adult life since I started when I was 18. Anyway, so back to what I was saying about moderation. So I have always known that I overdo it. And I have lived for a really long time with the delusion that I'm just mentally ill and I am weak. And if I could just be strong enough and moral enough and well-adjusted enough, then I could start drinking like a normal person. And, I started this journaling project in April. I turned 12,000 days old. And I started doing this journaling project where I keep track of what day it is. And every 10 days, like day 12,000 to 12,010, I had a theme. And I, at the end of every 10 days since then, I have done a 10-day review, just a review of that period of my life, right? And now I think it's day like 12,140 something right now, okay? And I started noticing in these 10-day periods a pattern that I would go through. I would get my shit together and I would be trying really hard on my theme, and then I would binge drink, and then I would crash and burn for 2 or 3 days, and then I would get my shit together and I would come up with a new plan, and then it just would repeat itself over and over and over again. And it's like these 10 days, I think that the difference really came in that I was actually going back and reviewing these cycles that I go through. And I was realizing that this would happen about 3 or 4 times a month, right? And And I'm like I said, I'm like day 140. So I went through about 8 cycles of this. No, not 8 cycles. Yeah, 8 cycles, like 8 cycles of it. And so I was thinking about that. So that's something I'm thinking about, right? And I was also like looking at my drinking habits. So I realized that some time ago, I don't even know when, a couple months ago, maybe sometime, maybe right before quarantine, I don't know, that when I was buying alcohol, I could only buy what I intended to drink that night. Because if I bought more than I intended to drink, if I thought, oh, I'm going to buy enough for, a couple days, whatever, that never actually happened. I would always drink everything I bought in one day. So or pass out. I would drink until I passed out or until the alcohol was gone every single time. Right? And so what I started doing is when I would go to the liquor store, I would only buy the alcohol that I was going to have that night. And also, quarantine, hello, I'm drinking alone, okay? I'm getting drunk by myself in my apartment. This is not new to quarantine either. I've been drinking alone for a really long time. Yeah, I know, you're thinking like, Lindy, hello, okay? This isn't, so you've just realized that you're an alcoholic. No. Okay, I've always known that I have substance abuse issues. But I think that like the the it's one thing to know it in your mind, and it's another thing to believe it. And I think that the key for me is watching these cycles and then also putting it together that whatever I buy at the liquor store, I'm going to drink tonight. I don't have an off switch. And it's like once I start drinking, I lose control of my ability to make decisions. And I know that this hurts me. Like I've said, I have quit drinking 100 times a year for 15 years. And it's like every time I would drink, I would say I'm never drinking again. I would like, I would just watch it, just in my journals, just watch this cycle happen over and over again. And it's like the combination of that. And then also I made a video a couple months ago called, I think it was called In the Arms of Bacchus, where I had this experience where is quarantine and I was like cleaning my windows. And I had been feeling so good and I just got really excited about like how clean my windows were because it's quarantine. And I got so excited that I got this like not uncontrollable, I did control it, but I got this strong craving to drink. And I like just like sat and like looked at that feeling and I was like, what is that? And I kind of realized that I've been pretty good about not drinking because I'm sad. I've been in therapy for like a year and I've gotten to the point where negative emotions, I'm pretty good at dealing with negative emotions at this point. But I realized also that I'm drinking because I'm happy and that it doesn't matter if I'm drinking because I'm sad or because I'm happy. The consequences are always the same. So it doesn't matter. So, you sort of like, the reason that I would stop drinking is because I would crash and I need to get my shit together and blah, blah, blah. And then I'd like start feeling really good again. And I'd be like, okay, well, this means that I'm fine now. And because I'm feeling good, that means that I can drink again. And I guess all of these things together, just like realizing that I can't moderate, especially, has been a deciding factor for me, especially like since I've actually stopped drinking. It's like I'm just feeling like I have spent so many years trying so hard to control my drinking. Like every time I go through this cycle where I'm like, okay, next time I'm only going to buy a 6-pack and no 6-pack and a bottle of wine, just a 6-pack. That's a reasonable amount. And like thinking about, oh, I can't drink on this day because I have to do this. And so I'm only going to drink on Friday. And like, just so much of my time consumed by trying to plan out my drinking and plan how I'm going to be drinking. And then the time I spend like recovering and feeling like shit and feeling anxious and ashamed of myself for how I've acted while I'm drinking. And then reflecting about my drinking and thinking like, oh, I really gotta get this under control, blah, 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 blah. And just like so much of my time and psychic energy wrapped up in trying to moderate my alcohol use. And then, which is time I'll never get back, and is time that was taken from my life where I could be doing literally anything else. And not only that, but it's like always telling myself that this time it's going to be different. And this time I'm only going to have this many, or I'm going to a party and I'm not going to get drunk. And then the next day waking up and saying like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to drink for X amount of days, blah, 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 blah. And just constantly breaking promises to myself and constantly feeling like I wasn't safe with myself, that like there was like I was abusing myself by engaging in this behavior, has just resulted in this toxic loss of trust in myself and low self-esteem. How could it be anything else, right? So what happened was I had a night of drinking, and it was obviously the pandemic, and so I was just at home and I was like doing Zoom calls. And I woke up in the morning and I felt like such an idiot for the things I'd been saying and doing on these Zoom calls. And it was a night where I had like I had like a Zoom drinking thing that I was going to. It was like a party, like a Zoom party. And so I had bought more alcohol than usual. I had actually bought gin, which is my liquor of choice, right? And you might hear my neighbor playing the piano through the wall. if you're listening to that, I am. And anyway, so I woke up and I was so hungover. And it was actually the morning that I filmed the pandemic Pride weekend video where I went to the park with my sister and brother-in-law and my friend Will. And I was so hungover the entire time, and I was just miserable, and it was like this thing that I've been wanting to do, and I just felt like shit for it. And the week before, my therapist, who was not really a person. I say was, she didn't die. She actually just like left her practice, so she's not my therapist anymore, like literally as of this week. But the week before, she was not a person to like really make strong suggestions to me. She sort of liked to make me or come to my own conclusions. And she had actually suggested the week before that I should really quit drinking like completely. And so that had been sort of stewing in my mind. And so I woke up and I was so hungover, and I was like trying to hang out with my friends, and just feeling like such a moron for the way I'd acted on these Zoom calls. And I came home after we had been at the park, and I like came home and my apartment was just like a nightmare, like cans everywhere and dishes and trash and all sort of surrounding the couch where I'm sitting now, because this is where I was doing my drunk Zoom calls. And I was like started cleaning up a little bit, and I reached under the table and I found the bottle of gin, which still had a little bit of gin in it. I had gotten so drunk that I actually passed out on my couch, and didn't finish all the gin. Didn't even know that there was still gin left. And so I like made myself a gin and LaCroix, and it was enough for like one drink, and I drank that, and it was the last drink I ever had. And I'm gonna try to make that the last drink that I ever have in my entire life. So that's my story. And what I've been doing is, first of all, I feel great. I feel great. And I am looking at myself in the camera right now. I'm looking pretty good. Like, I am not wearing, except for the mascara, I'm not wearing makeup right now. Like, my skin looks amazing. I also have been feeling very good, very well. Like, my life is not perfect, and my emotions are not perfect. But they are not bad because I'm drinking. I am just sort of really in this world right now. And I've been trying healthy living, you know? I've been giving it a real shot. Like, I have a habit tracker on my phone, and so I've been trying to create a just a baseline healthy life, right? So on the habit tracker, this is what I try and do every day. I try and sleep from midnight until 8 a.m. every day, including on the weekends. I journal 3 times a day at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 8 p.m. I drink 10 cups of water. I eat enough calories, and including 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. I have quit smoking cigarettes and am chewing the nicotine gum again. I know I'm addicted to the nicotine gum. It's fine. I'm fine with that. So I have a timer on my phone where I can only chew 10 pieces of nicotine gum a day. And you know what? I'm just fine with that right now. I ride the exercise bike for half an hour. I read for a half an hour. I stay off of social media, specifically Twitter and Facebook, until 10 p.m. I don't let it into my life during the day because I find it very distracting. I still look at Tumblr though. From my cold, dead hands. Will you pry my Tumblr blog? Okay. So I got stay off social media. What other habits? Oh, I have an alternating habit where every other day I clean the cat box or I update my written budget. And then everything in my apartment has a place where it lives. And before I go to bed at night, I put everything back where it belongs. So I wake up every day in a clean home. And so I've just been trying to cement these basic habits in my life. And I've been doing it very successfully, actually. And right now, so like I said, every 10 days I have a theme. And the theme of this current period that I'm in is called A Better Grasp on Harmony. And I've posted this quote on my blog a couple times recently, but it just hit me so hard when I read it. It's from Marcus Aurelius. And the quote is, which I should be able to do from memory, considering how many times I've just sort of like written it down, like, this is what you're doing. It's when jarred unavoidably by life, by circumstances in life, revert at once to yourself and do not lose the rhythm any more than you can help. You will have a better grasp on harmony if you keep going back to it. And so that's what I've been trying to live right now, is I do my habits, I stay home because of the pandemic, and whatever happens, I just try and come back to those basic habits that I'm working on. And I'm just trying to have the humility not to give myself any other projects right now. Right now, my project is to create a basic home life that is healthy for myself and to stay sober. And I'm doing those things right now. And I'm doing pretty good. So that's my life update. And looking forward to making more sober videos. If you enjoyed my drunk videos, I'm sorry. They will stay on my channel. You can go back and watch them, but I'm not making any more. So if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. And if you have any questions for me, I was thinking about doing this. If you have any questions for me that you would like to see me answer in a video, you can leave them in the comments. And I'm not just saying that for the YouTube algorithm, although certainly would appreciate it, because I love attention. Okay. Water. Okay, bye.